What's up, YouTube? It's PJ Chess here back with another video. So today I have some games from a tournament I just played. It was 3 games. I did not do well. I got half a point out of 3. I did get 1 draw, but it was not a great result. But it's part of it, trying to be master. Gotta accept it's not gonna be a straight line, although obviously I want it to be. The last 2 tournaments not the best, but I'm not gonna quit. Like, I'm gonna play till I get to my goal. So if it takes longer, it takes longer. But this is the first game. Here's the second game. I got rolled this game. I can't lie. 68%. It was bad. It was bad. This game, I honestly had a chance to win and a chance to lose, so a draw was an okay result. This one sucks because I was winning, as you'll see, but I make one move and I'll talk about the miscalculation when we get there. But they go pawn to e4, I go pawn here to e5, knight of 3, knight of 6, d3. Now, I played this person the other week, and it was in the last video, and it was my only win of the tournament. So if you remember, they played bishop c4 last time, and I played, I didn't want to get into a complex game that I was able to edge out a win at the end here. But this is a different, and I don't play d3 quite a lot online. When I play the Petrov, usually I see d4, bc4, knight c3 a lot, or just the classical take the pawn. And I've seen d3 before because I played the Petrov a lot, but it did throw me off a little bit. Like, the first one was like, okay, this is interesting. I haven't done this too much. And it's funny how, like, of course, over the board is something I'm not familiar with. And I go d6. It's not the best move. It's knight c6. This is going to show you. And most of the Petrov, when I play, you'll see the book move because I know it. But d3 is not one I played very much at all. I wonder if I don't have chess base, but I'm assuming it's not mainline. And it was a good idea. He goes bishop e7, or bishop e2. I go h6. This was to just stop bishop g5. I didn't want them to get an active piece. Even though this isn't the best move, I would play this again. And c5. This sucks that it's the best move because I wanted to play it. The problem with c5 in a lot of lines is that when they go c3, d4, you get a backwards pawn here on d6, which I clearly overestimated or underestimated. I guess overestimated the issue that is. But I've played the position where you go c5 and bishop to e6 when they have the bishop on c4. So that was just me being precautious because I've seen the position before. But it was the bad decision there. They go pawn to c3, and that's really one to play c5 the most. Bishop e7, knight b to d2, b6 looking to go bishop b7, and then d4 as I expected. Now, I didn't love my position. The only good thing that I was feeling for it is that because they do have the center, obviously, the issue, or what I assume would be a perceived issue, is they have to push one of these pawns. I guess I'm pointing, you can't see. They have to push one of these 2 pawns, right? They have to push here or here, which you would think is good, but say they do go here, and so my bishop's going to be there, because they're not just going to push immediately. I don't know the reason why. I just don't think it makes sense. They don't. Yeah, they're not going to push the exact next turn. So whenever they do, I have my bishop here, and I can go knight to either of these squares, and especially this one, which will be an outpost, and they're both very advanced, and they push take. It's just isolated, and they can push f4. There's just no attack, and if they push here, then I think you can really see the issue. They can't push, and I can go c6. I'll be an isolated pawn. I try and push and trade. So I knew I was going to be congested, but my whole thought process, well, I'll be congested, but they can't push the pawns, even though they're useful. They can't push them because each push is a commitment. Like, you can't move pawns backwards, and I knew that whenever they do push the pawns, I should be set up enough to take it, at least do good or take advantage of it, which you'll see. I was right in that. I just had to lose anyways, but I was right in my assumption. So I didn't love it, but I thought that I could defend. I was very clearly going to be a defensive game from the front, which I've realized is sort of my issue. Like, I played too much defense over the board chess. But yeah, I go bishop b7, queen to c2, I castle, which is the best move, castles, and knight b to d7. So still doing good so far. As you saw, I had a pretty good accuracy, so I do play well, I just get outplayed. But yeah, I go knight b to d7, rook here to e1, rook here to e8, bishop d3, bishop f8, and pawn to b3. Now here, I have a vast misunderstanding of their plan. I thought they were going to try, well, honestly, I know they're going to try. Because usually, the queen is in front of the bishop. I played online against some 23 and 2400s where they'll do, it's like reverse, and they'll just try and wear you down, which is kind of funny. Like, you don't see it at my level, like our level, because me and him are pretty, well, I don't know anymore, but we are pretty similarly rated. At our level, it's always bishop first, and then below our level, you'll see queen and bishop going for the checkmate. I used to do that when I was lower rated, going for that. But then it skips a level and goes to a high level that they do it. So it's kind of interesting how you see stuff like that. And I just assumed they were just going to try and go bishop here and just stare down, but I just didn't see the finishing blow. So I thought it was good to develop. I just didn't understand it yet. And I go g6, just like, okay, whatever is going to happen, I'm going to try and have a pawn here. Just fianchetto also get on this diagonal. Because if you've been watching for a while, I posted a video like 2 or 3 weeks ago where I actually ended up winning the game. The one tournament I have won since I've came back, they had bishop here, and I was too slow bishop g7. So chess is almost as much psychological as it is like mechanical. Because of these previous games, I didn't go c5, right? Because I lost the game because of that. And I know I want to go there, and I want them to get a bishop. So in this case, it actually helps me. But in the past, it doesn't always. They go pawn here to e5. I take the pawn. They take. I go knight here to d5, and they go pawn to e6, which is a mistake. It's back equal, but neither of us knew this. I was like, huh. I didn't calculate that at all. This is why I said I misunderstood their plan. I didn't think that was going to happen whatsoever. Pawn here to e6. I didn't understand what they were trying to do. But, because I thought they were trying to do something else here. So I was like kind of confused. And I decided to take with the rook. I find all the best moves, which is the funny thing. Or this isn't the best move. I could have went knight there first, but, you know, similar idea. Take bishop g7. Now, this is actually very important. Because if you go knight here, I'm pretty sure you lose. I calculated it. If you go knight there, yeah, it's a loss. You see the eval bar. So I felt pretty smart. And then if you go anywhere else, I'm pretty sure it's a loss. Like, you can't go there. And then you have to take the bishop. Because if you go knight here, you lose again after. Yeah. See, I calculated all this correctly. You lose if you. I didn't put in the engine yet. This was just my calculation from the game. So I knew I had to take. And you also have to go queen f6. Because if you go. Or I guess you don't have to go queen f6. It's the best move, though. Let's say you go c5. What was the issue? I think. Oh, I didn't even. I might have seen that. But I knew you had to queen trade. So I offered the queen trade. And here I thought I was losing, which I was right, but they make a mistake, and this is why. In all the games that not the next game, but a lot of games in my losing streak, because I was on a 4-game losing streak before the draw, I was winning in 3 of them. I was winning, and 2 of them I were in this game, and the game I lost to the Master, I was winning. This was not complete, but I was completely winning against the Master. The game I lost to the almost 1600, I wasn't winning, but I was like equal until I blundered twice, basically. And then this next game, you'll see it, I just got crushed. So that's the only game I haven't. But that is so frustrating to see the eval bar. Like, dude, I got a lock in. But credit to them, they stick with it even though that they're down from the evaluation. And I knew here I was winning because if you can't understand, I'm attacking the bishop, but I'm also attacking this knight. And the bishop can't go here or here because of this knight, and this knight for that square. And the problem is that they're going to have double pawns, which is not good. They're not only double. This is isolated now. And this is funny, this pawn wins the game. I don't have it notated because I couldn't notate that long. I was low on time. But this pawn is actually how I lose. So hilarious irony there that I was so happy about it and I lose because of it. But I go rook d8, he slides rook over, and now I'm just completely winning apparently. Just absurd. I trade the rook. Now, I saw knight here. I cannot understand why this is good. I'm kind of curious. If you go here, can they not just go here? And then, well, what's the analysis? Capture. Oh, and then you go knight there. Yeah, I missed a few tactics in this little exchange. I missed a few, which is actually why I ended up losing. Because I have a good position, but I was never able to win material with it because I kept miscalculating how to go about it. It was like I knew I was winning, but I couldn't push the right buttons. And you'll see what I mean. Because even with this, there's winning with material, and I still miscalculate. So if you go knight, actually. I don't know. Can I? I'm winning. I knew I was winning. But my plan here... Oh, no. Well, I guess it's not even in the game. But it's not that many more moves. The bishop slides back. I bring my knight here to b4 again. Miscalculation. I'm looking for the fork. I know that I had to go back. And then this is... I calculated everything. And you'll see my miscalculation. Check. Take. And what I missed here was that after b5, knight a5 protects the pawn. So what I completely lose my advantage, as you see, and then go on to win. But I'm still winning after, like, my calculation. I would not have went there. And I realized as soon as I played it, I was like, wait, they can just go at knight a5. And it was like one of those, like, how did I see this after it happened type of moments. Like, it wasn't even before they went there. It's like I pushed b5, and I was like, oh, I don't know about this, man. And then he ends up beating me. And it also sucks because now that you see it's dead equal, I could have drawn this game. And we talked about it after. There is a mechanism. It's kind of hard to explain with the position. But imagine the kings are sort of in the center. And my knight could either go knight to h3 or knight back. And me not playing with eval, I'm like, dude, I'm winning. I have to be winning. So I went knight h3. I go on to lose. If I could have shuffled the pieces, the knight back and forth. And I saw it and he saw it too. And I decided to not go for it because he had nothing. And basically what I did was bet, okay, they have isolated pawns. I should have something better than they do. But also at this point, I'm down a pawn. This pawn is gone. But I was like, well, they're double, and they can't be that good. And I was just wrong in my assumption there. So I got overzealous. I got happy thinking I was winning, although I was, and then I wasn't. I should have been able to set the scenario better. And I'm taking this loss here. No harm in it. This game though, it was bad for the start. You can actually see like I have a lot of mistakes in it. The part that's frustrating though about this loss in particular is I just didn't see it, if that makes like I know obviously you never see yourself lose, like you never see like the losing tactic or else you would have stopped it. But in the game I lost, the first game, I calculated through everything. This I just missed a couple moves that I didn't even put in my calculation. So my calculation could have been right. And it's funny, I've said the same thing playing the same opponent previously. My calculation was right, but I missed a move. So it's wrong, but it's right in terms of okay, if this happened, this could have worked. But I just completely a move whiffed, and that's like a very frustrating way to. I'd rather miscalculate honestly than just not see the move. But yeah, I would have rather lost like the first game than this game. But I go d4, they go d5, bishop f4, knight to c6, e3, c5, c3, bishop f5, bishop d3, pawn, take. I want to speed up just to show you I'm doing okay. I did okay to start. And I said it was bad from the beginning. I mean like the early middle game, it gets pretty rough. It gets pretty rough. The problem with the position and why I was actually hesitant to do this is that f5 is there, and I also choose the wrong knight square. I should go knight e2. They're small decisions. I go knight f3 just because that's what you usually do. What I messed up here is that by going knight f3, I can't play f3 to kick the knight from e4 quickly, which ends up being my downfall. Well, among other things, but that was the main issue. Is I couldn't push f3 very quickly. They go knight c6, I castle, he castles, knight bd2 is the best move, knight e4, and knight here. So this is actually, and it sucks. So when I show my coach this game, she'll be like, "Dude, what are you doing?" We literally talked about this. When I see this, you have to go f3, like you really have to. But the thing was though, I was like, I'm winning because they have an isolated pawn, and these are like fake double pawns because they have a pawn here. But this is really isolated. This will be a long-term weakness. So if we ever got to an end game, I would have pressure on this. The problem is that not that I didn't remember what I was taught, what I was supposed to do. The problem was that I thought I was winning. And because I thought I was winning, I thought that I could just, not that the plan wouldn't work, but I thought that would make more sense to just try and push the winning advantage. So I go knight to b3. My thought was is that, okay, I can stack up pieces on the file. And that's another thing when I was saying I just missed moves. I don't realize g5 is possible until much later. And when I do, it's honestly kind of too late. They go bishop back and queen e2. This is the first misstep. h4 was the best move because again I didn't see g5 yet, and I also, even if I were to go, this was just such a bad move. Like here would have been bad. Like if I were going to play a queen move, I think there's better I think they're both. Yeah, this is just an inaccuracy versus a mistake. And I almost played this move too, so that's why I'm like, ugh, like I'm cringing looking at the evaluation bar because I thought I did almost play queen d3. It's still not a great move, but 0.4 versus 1.4. Although I don't lose because of queen e2. They miss. Go rook here to f to d1, rook over, h3, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I see it now. And I go h4 right after. So I do see the move. The problem is it's a bit too late to see the evaluation bar. He sees it as well. He goes h6. I go knight b to d4. And I will defend this move. Now, does it work? No. Doesn't work at all. But it was the idea was right. I was seeing lines. Let me see if I can show the exact. I think it was like this. And I didn't like how I couldn't take because the bishop was, yeah, that's the general idea. I didn't like that. I see the issues. I'm not supposed to take the pawn, but I saw that I wasn't supposed to take it. So even if I go there and then there, either I'm taking this, I knew this was going to happen. So that's what I saw. And this general idea, either I would lose this pawn or I have an isolated backwards pawn, which I end up getting anyways, and which is the funny part. But that's why I go knight here, b to d4. So I'm like, okay, I can't stop g5, but I will at least guard this. So now if that whole exchange happened, I wouldn't have to worry about it as much because it wouldn't be a threat at the end of it. So the logic made sense. I was wrong. But it was logical, like the thought process, but the other threat was more valuable. I should try to just remove the knight with the knight back to d2 instead of trying to play super defensive. Because if all that happens, I could just throw in a knight capture, and it also attacks the queen. So it's not even like they could stop doing what they're doing, or they could keep doing what they're doing. They would have to stop to recapture it, and then they'd also not have an attack there because the bishop, it would just be the bishop now. So that was where I went wrong there. They also go wrong though. They push back, and they take my knight. And I didn't realize this was a mistake. I thought at this point I'm like kind of dejected. I'm going to be honest with you after G5 because I'm on a 3-game losing streak, and I've played this person before, and this is someone for whatever reason I just cannot really play. Like he's definitely better than me right now, and I just was like, I already knew it said down like, okay, it might be different today, it might be different, but every time I play it, it's a similar result. So it was already some mental and like that, and I'm just like. Another loss, 4 in a row. I take the pawn, I drop back, and pawn here to G4. I'm like, dude, how did you let this happen again? Because if you look at I was winning. I knew I was winning with the pawn here on D5 at the beginning. I'm like, I was doing good, but I take pawn, and this is the move that I was very upset that this is what crushed me mentally was G3 because I didn't see it is an inaccuracy, but I say if he doesn't play G3, he still might win, but at the very least, would have been better in a better mental space to defend. And that's why I think I said earlier in this video, chess is very psychological. I was like, I completely missed this move. I was like, dude, come on. And I thought this was a brilliant, but it's an inaccuracy. And what I played wrong here, so I have a miscalculation again. I take with the pawn. Now, what I saw take, and I was like, okay. This can't be good because of this, and I was right. Like I'm still losing. I'm just losing worse with this. The reason I thought this worked was because I thought they would. What did I think they would do? I thought I could get G4 in, which I never get. I was like, okay, then I'll go bishop F4, but they never let me get it. So first, in this move, I will say is I didn't notate it correctly. So I think this is what he played, and this is the rest of the position I know is the same. I remember that part. So the ending is definitely the same. I could not make out what I wrote here. So that was like, I wonder if I have it. Yeah, I'll pull that up real quick. But I could not make out what I wrote there. And it was very frustrating when I was trying to put the game in. But yeah, just so you could see what I was looking at me see. If you look at move 21 for black, it shows, if you can see that. Ooh, that is not a great angle. It shows like knight to something. And I'm like, he doesn't move his knight though, because I remembered the game. And I also was low on time here, so I could have just been whatever. And it's like not the right piece or the right rank, it's just the right file. But it was queen there because I ended up remembering. I take the knight, well, I should have went G4 here. And I don't know why didn't I go G4? I don't know. But I took the knight. Yeah, what? Huh. It's easier to see now, but G4 makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that was kind of... Oh, no, I know why I didn't go G4. I was like, if I go G4, then take, and they win the pawn and they have this, but then I get the, yeah. So this was just bad. That was a bad decision. But I take the rook captures, rook here to D3. It's funny, it's the best move. Lee Chess didn't really like it. Rook slides over, and it's actually a draw here until I go rook A D1. And this is also frustrating because I saw rook F1, and I promise I saw rook F1. I didn't end up playing it. One, I got very low on time, and I was like, well, I have to go somewhere. And I said, well, at least if I go rook there, they can't automatically take, because say, and he obviously didn't do this, but if you take, then you can't because of this, and then you're winning. So, like, okay, you can't do that. But I could have just went rook F1, and I calculated, and I was between these two squares. I wish I was between, like, this and, like, another bad move, but I was playing, like, a mistake and the absolute best move in the position, and I chose the wrong one. So that just shows you where I'm as a chess player. I can see it. Won't always play it or understand it, but I do see the best move, so, you know, that sucks. But they take, and here, I go queen here. My thought was that I'm probably going to lose, so let me at least try. If I can get here and then, like, back, like, it was a pretty, or, like, here and back, it was a pretty stupid plan. I'm not going to lie to you, but at this point, I had, like, a minute. I'm, like, not in the best spot mentally because, you know, I'm just a little upset at myself. And I'm not someone who is mad at others. Like, I'm just always like, I should be. Like, I always like, dude, like, you got to be better than this. Like, losing in itself, like, it's not, like, I'm playing, this guy's a 2000. The first game's a 1900, and the other game, I think he's like a mid 1800. So I'm playing, like, good competition. But it's still, like, I practice so much, so you want to see the results like every game. Like you want to see like I do all these puzzles, I do all these games, and I play all these tournaments. I'm like I want to finally see it, and I'm just like, dude, like how do you? So I'm more like I gotta practice more, I gotta work more or something. Not as much like complaining I lost because losing happens. It's just like I gotta work on the process of it. But they go queen here to g4, rook over, and I actually saw queen f1 as well. Part of me just didn't care. Like I was like the game is over. So like if I do this, maybe he messes up, and I was like, okay, maybe I can, go here and get back or something. But I realized after rook e2, like oh, it's over. Like I didn't know it was mate. Like I knew it was a little worse than the other one, but I was like, if I play the best move queen f1, I know the best move. I knew it was better though. I know if I play queen f1, he's just going to beat me like slowly. Like I knew that was going to happen. Like I'm not going to be able to come back on this person. I know. So let me at least try and do something with this way. And then but rook e2, I'm like, oh, but it's checkmate. So it doesn't matter. So if you don't see, I actually don't have, because I'm so long on time. I'm actually notating under 5 minutes here. And if you don't know the rule, when you're under 5 minutes in USCF and it's not like a 30-second increment, you don't have to notate. I went rook at, so it's pretty simple. Here, 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 and I actually resigned here because it just would be there. But yeah, this is basically what happened. The queen move never happened on the board. This is where I dropped my king and shook his hand. I took my loss. This was the second loss in a row of this tournament. And if you go back a tournament, this is 4 straight. So this last game, I was like, I almost wanted to just leave. Not leave, like what same thing out, like, withdraw myself. But I said, that is a weak mentality. I was like, I'll take my licks if I gotta take my licks. So that's my mindset. It sucks to lose, but it's part of it. And I'm like, if I'm trying to get better, and like if I'm not there yet, it'd be good to play another game, another rated game, just to get some more experience. Because not that experience necessarily guarantees you improvement, but I think that it is good to see like where you are at people in your level. And one more game for that sample size is not a bad thing. So I very quickly said, you're being a loser. Like just play this tournament. I know it sucks being on a 4-game losing streak, but you're never going to get out of it if you just quit. So yeah, I played this one. I got a draw. I should have lost and I should have won in this one, as I mentioned earlier, or maybe it was in my first take because the first video I started, the first recording was very bad at the beginning. But I think if I didn't say it this take, this game I could have won and lost, so a draw felt fair. Although you'll see, it's kind of a roller coaster. The accuracy is 80%, feels very high for both of us. We both do some interesting, make some interesting choices. But this is the beginning. I didn't really talk about too much. d4, f6, bishop f4, pawn to e3, bishop to g7, pawn to h3. They go pawn here to d6. I go knight to f3, castles, bishop e2, and pawn to c4. Now, I actually played this person last week, or no, 2 weeks ago. If you've seen that video, if you haven't, check it out. And I was losing. I ended up winning, funnily enough. But I was losing in the beginning because of a opening decision that I made. So I switched it up because I went over the game. I go over all my games. So I reviewed on here, and I reviewed outside of here as well. So I switched it up. Me and my coach doing something differently. They go pawn to e5. I drop my bishop back and pawn here to e4. So they also, with the switch up, had some good responses. I dropped my knight back to d2. Pawn to f5, castles, knight, and knight here to c3. And then knight to f6. Now here, just give you a mental check. And at this point, I was dejected, but I was like, okay, I can't let it seep in. If you ever been in this position, you can say that all you want. Like I knew I need to be energetic. I try to let it roll off my back like water, so to speak. But it was difficult because I'm like, man, am I washed? I was 1884. I'm on a 4 game. Like it's all these thoughts in my head that are outside of what's happening in the game, and I think that's just not what I need to work on that. Oh, I was trying to. Like I didn't do it intentionally, but it's hard to not think about like, man, this is just a lot of losses. So that's where I'm like at mentally. But I'm like, all right, if I can just get a win here, like, stop the bleeding. And that's actually why I ended up taking the draw, which is funny because I was actually losing when we agreed to a draw. But that's why I took it, because I didn't know I was losing. I was like, let me just stop the bleeding. At least get something. At least leave here with something. But I go bishop f4, and you see I'm actually like slightly better, which is, again, for another. So point 2 is not really the same thing as the other games that you saw in my last couple of videos where I was like completely winning. But this is showing like in 14 moves, I'm not getting like blitzed. But very quickly, you can see the mistakes actually because of the way I've set up. So you see very shortly. This is not less. I go h4. First issue. Very frustrating though, because there are times you're supposed to play h4. This was not one of them. And that's why you can't look at chess as like I've done this before. In this game, I have to do this. but sometimes you do. So it's like interesting. It's a fun, interesting balance to strike because sometimes you win games off of seeing something before, but here I get a worse position because I play something that I presume that worked because it works before. And if you remember, literally the last game, H4 was the best move. And I didn't have the eval bar because, I don't do it between rounds, but I knew it was a good move, so I went H4 again. Knight drops back to H7, F3. The game changer. Such a dumb move. But I was trying to, I was like, all right, I have all this pressure. Let me try. What I missed, not this. I see this, obviously. Capture, I see this, obviously. But Knight G6. And then I missed Bishop H6. Now, why did I go Rook A to D1? Couldn't really tell. I don't know. It really doesn't make that much sense, I'm going to be honest with you. I wish I had an explanation, but I don't really have one. That move, I think, oh no, I do. Because I wanted to push and then guard, but that, is not a great plan. They go bishop here to H6, knight to E1. This, I will defend a little more than the other move. I was thinking, if you don't see the, oh no, that, well, pretty didn't see that, because I'm not editing that out, I'm not going to lie. But what I was seeing is if I kept it here, what would they do? What was the, oh, well, okay, so say I go here, it's here, and then you just lose the pawn. So that's the first issue. So I was like, okay, if I could just take out the attack when they push, I can just block bishop f4, which is another mistake, but whatever. We trade, I go knight here to d5, pawn to c6, pawn to g3. Now, I did not think knight d5 actually worked, which is the funny thing. I was like, dude, let me just try something. And I almost just, not resign, but played a not try move. And this was honestly kind of a not try. I didn't know this was the best move. I thought it was I thought it was just completely losing already. I was like, well, let me at least try and throw him off. And he went C6. I was like, what? I was like, hold on. No way. I go G3, and then he comes in. I was like, no way. And this is where I think the mindset thing really comes to head. Here I'm winning. And obviously I don't have an eval bar. But I was like, I don't know. This kind of is hard to explain if you've never been, done this before. But I decided to take, which I kind of knew wasn't the best move. I didn't see D5, I'm not going to lie. But I knew it had to be something better than this. But I was getting low on time, and I was like, I'm kind of ready to go. I just keep losing. Let me get some material and just try and defend, and which is what I did. And this is my last chance to win. If I go C5, or no, Bleach Chess said C5. Here says Knight D3. My issue with this, I was trying to go Rook C1, Rook C2, but I didn't want to drop the pawn. So, if I go Rook C1 right now, I could just show it. If I go Rook C1 right now, Bishop captures pawn, and, then if I go there, it's kind of pointless, and they're winning. I don't have the eval bar, but that's my thought at least. So, but yeah. I slide back, queen comes in, and we just go for repetition here. And they're, completely winning. I don't have the rest of the game because we were low. But he just goes back, and then I go here, and then he goes here. And then we, agreed to a draw, I think, when we're here. He's like, draw him. Because he asked for a draw, when it first happened. Here, he offered the draw. I was like, and I'm losing. Because I was like, dude, I knew I was winning, and I'm like, So I think that's 2 of the games today. I had, a +2 or higher advantage, and won the last week. So, I don't know. It happens. Besides the second game, I've been not been getting rolled. I've been playing pretty well. Even that game, the accuracy was low. It was 2 or 3, which is a lot of moments. So, but the other ones was more 1. But yeah, that's this video. I've been talking for a while, almost half an hour, I think. So if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. This was not the result that I wanted, and if you wanted it, if you're rooting for me, but it's what happened. I'm going to share the wins, the losses, the draws. I think it'd be kind of wrong of me not to share all of it, because I'd be kind of disingenuous, at least for, for the tournaments and stuff. So I should lose some points. I still be mid-1800s, hopefully, because I did play people, all in my range, and higher, in a 2000, so, really, it's kind of whatever. I have a tournament next Thursday, then I'm going to an open, so hopefully I can turn around there, and if I don't, hopefully I turn around eventually, but I'm not stopping until I'm master. I'm not looking at the camera. I'm not stopping until I'm master, so all this, while it hurts and it sucks, it's I know I'm going to hit my goal at some point. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you enjoy. If you made it this far, I hope you're subscribed. It is 30 minutes at this point, 31. But yeah, thanks for watching, and have a good one.